Good afternoon, people. Way. Okay. So today is today. What's today? Just get the date
Monday.
right. Monday. Yeah, I know it's Monday. Monday, 23rd of September. We go away tomorrow on a nice. Well, it's a nice journey, but actually, it's not a nice journey.
It's not a nice journey. Hopefully, it's a nice destination.
It's a nice destination, but just there's a few things on the way, which I'll either go into later or I'll do a short live. Anyway, there's a few mixed reviews for this year's Franziskaner Royal. Certain people have absolutely loved it, and certain people have not been so sure. Now, this one for me, I have to go a little bit on the people that. Oh Christ, what have I done? Hold on. I shouldn't mess about with this, should I? There's the back of the bar. I should make sure it's there. That's where the machine is down there. If I can turn you back, I will. Okay. So that didn't work. I was trying to. But there you go. At least it's tidy.
Yeah.
See?
That's the advantage.
Makes a change, only because we haven't been out here. Anyway, yeah, and to that bit, we haven't been on the beer since Friday in Bulgaria.
That's right.
Friday night. So yeah, as I say, we were leaving this one for 2 weeks' time when we got back, but we've been asked for our opinion, and that that's because they know that obviously with Jamie and Lewis from the Keg Exchange, do check that group out if you're into your wheat beer, because it's kind of that type of place, isn't it? But one thing with them, I have a few differences with them on numerous occasions, especially certain people in there, but they do kind of have an idea with a Weizen, and some of the things that was said in some messages exchanged between some of us were quite concerning for us, wasn't it? Because this is my favourite. This is like my baby, isn't it?
It is your favourite. It's one that I do find is a little bit of an acquired taste for people who are new to drinking this style of beer. It's a bit more rich than the original, and it'll be interesting to see what this year's comes out like.
Still got my glass, so that's going, and it's on the back machine. So
it is.
Yeah, and it's at. I think I got it at 5. Yeah, I got it at 5.
You've got it at 5. Yeah. This is one of those ones you can go as low as 3, you can go as high as 8, and you're still going to enjoy the pint. I think it's really is personal preference. So
yeah, let's get her poured and see what we get. Remember, bear in mind, this is the first pour. Blimey.
Lively.
Yeah, she's lively. I chilled the keg overnight, you see, and turned the machine on. And I really don't want to, because I don't have a drip tray here. You know what I've done here. And you know that, just moved that. Yeah, okay, it's all right. So that's a bit better situation than what we're in. So let's look at that and say, well, it looks good. It's got that off-white head.
It smells good.
It smells good. Right, let's just not worry about that. Let's go and pour a bit in one of these, because we'll be here all day otherwise. Oh, I've got to have the electrics here, and of course, because I wasn't going to use the machine.
You didn't bother setting it up properly.
And all the drip trays are inside.
As you can see, that has got a nice foaminess to the head. Obviously, this is a big pour. These style of glasses are difficult to pour in anyway, but on the first pour.
Once you get going, that'll do it. So, we'll definitely have over a pint there. So it looks, that colour that we love so most. I mean, obviously, you should swirl the keg around if you're going to be before pouring it. We don't. We prefer the milkshake at the end.
You get that sediment at the bottom, and you can alleviate that by rolling your keg slightly before you insert it in the machine. Or don't, if you like all that sediment at the bottom. But when you look at them, the colour of this is coming out the same as it always has done. It is that dark amber colour, and it's a very kind of murky haziness to it as well.
And the carbonation as well is brilliant for a non-nucleated glass.
You can see the fine bubbles.
I can actually see the. Yeah, I don't think you'd probably be able to on there, but you can. I've got to say, so far so good.
This for me is looking exactly as it should. I'm already picking up the aromas from this without putting the glass near my nose, and all is smelling quite well.
Got to ponder it. And I do still have last year's keg, but last year's keg was another level, and I remember that flavour like it was yesterday. Although I've got one now that's kind of dated 2 months. a lot of us knew that last year was like they upped the ante to another level.
Yeah. This has got that wonderful smell of malts, bread, banana, slight caramelness. I pick up on a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of fruit, plumminess, prune, that kind of fruit in there, as well as the banana. That's just from the aroma. The aroma does give you lots of indication of what you're going to have in the glass.
But it does look, as I say, looks can be deceiving, a smell can be deceiving. If you didn't have the other one next to you, trying to do your ponder test is almost impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't upload the other keg up now because it's too late in the day.
It's too late in the day, yeah.
For us, but I'll let you go and let's give this a go. And we do have another one with a nice thick head there as well. Because it does look pretty much the part. You know, Franziskaners. Blimey, it's different.
I'm not finding it as fruity as I did last year.
Right, yeah. The first thing for me, and people say I haven't got a clue about half these beers, but the bitterness, especially at the end, it's like, you must get that. I can't see.
For me, you're still getting that creamy mouthfeel. The texture of the beer still feels quite full, quite thick, quite rich, quite creamy. I am picking up on the maltiness, a little bit caramel, a little bit banana. There is not the sweetness that there was from the kind of prune flavour that I used to get from this.
Yeah, they called it figs, but it was more like a dried fruit.
Yeah, I'd say
in a
prunes
nice
because
way.
it's raisins.
Yeah, raisins would be.
Figs, prunes, that kind of sweetness, that kind of stickiness that you get from that type of fruit. There isn't as much of that this year. I am picking up more on a peppery note at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was really bitter. For me, there's lack of the ripe bananas. There's lack of all the way through.
I am still picking up on the banana flavour.
You are getting the banana on it, but it's not.
But it's not as prominent, I don't think, as it was last year.
Last year it was a real burst of banana, and you did have the sweetness that was giving it that kind of all-round taste, wasn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, that's still not a bad Weizen beer, but it ain't what we had last year. No way. It's like I can't open that keg. I've even got it cold, but
it's still good. It isn't as fruity. That pepperiness that I'm picking up on the end of there, see, I really like that kind of peppery taste. I'm not picking it out as like a bitterness that you would get from...
Do you know, I thought it on the first one, that's not even far from an aniseed taste.
No, I'm not really picking up on an aniseed.
On a lightness, right at the very end. It's so different. I'm just trying to look at what was said to me to see if any of it matches. I know one was saying where are we? I'm just talking about hackback. You see what I mean? It is really hard, and obviously we're put on the spot here. I'm just trying to. It's. You get to get no depth and no wow factor.
I still feel it has a good mouthfeel to it. It still feels quite thick and quite creamy on the mouthfeel. I think what's lacking is the sweetness that you get from those fruits that I was describing. There isn't as much of that. The banana is a lot more subtle than what I remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like a real ripe banana.
And I'm getting that kind of pepperiness at the end with a tad of clove.
There was a real creaminess that's not there this year, and it followed it through. You had a lovely sweetness, and the ripe bananas went all the way through.
Yeah, I think it's the sweetness of the fruit that is lacking a little bit in this, which is taken away from the overall balance. That's kind of my take on it. I think that's where I sit with this one.
And it is a lingering sourness at the end. Bitterness, sourness that you didn't have.
Oh, I wouldn't call it sour. I wouldn't call it a sourness.
I could ask an independent person while we're on here to come in and have a sip just to get a third review.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of personal takes on this. I think trying it side by side with last year's will be quite good. But I think going back and replaying it in my memory, it just hasn't got the depth of the fruit in there.
Yeah, the complexity.
Which is taken away from the overall balance for me.
I mean, when Royal first came back, I think this is about the 4th year now, it was absolutely phenomenal. It came back again, it equalled it, didn't it? It came back last year, and I said to everyone, this is different level. And now I know what I was drinking. I'm not stupid in the way that I've looked forward to it. Remember, we drank kegs all the way along the year, so we didn't have the big gap that everyone else did, because we kept them right to the end, and it was different gravy, but there's just...
For me, that isn't bad. I'm not going to say that they've made a bad batch here. They haven't. I still think that is a good beer. It just lacks the depth and complexity of flavours that last year's had, especially in the fruit department.
It's not great, unfortunately. But it's not, that's why I've invited John just to take a sip out of that.
Have a good snip
Like a
of it first
snip
as
and
well,
ponder on it.
There.
Smells how I remember it smelling.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
What, more than last year's?
Yeah, probably find it easier to drink.
Well, you don't feel that it's got a bitterness on the end?
For me, it's not as sweet or as fruity. They call it figs. I was saying prunes. So figs, prunes, raisins, that kind of dried fruit that you get that fruitiness. I'm finding that's a little bit lacking in this year's, which is something that you probably go, yeah, because you're not keen on those type of flavours.
That would explain why
so
I
that
quite
would
like
explain
this one
why.
more.
The banana is a little bit more subtle in there as well for me.
I just feel it's got a bang. The aftertaste was never like this. The more I have the aftertaste, it's not so much of a bad aftertaste, but it's more of a bitterness.
Yeah, I don't mind
I'm
that.
sort of getting it on the way down.
It's the taste I'm left with. Whereas you had the banana, the caramel, the creaminess. Now you're getting this bitterness, which is different.
Yeah, I'm picking that up as well.
It really is different. It's not. Is it necessarily a bad thing? If you want what you had before, then yeah. But otherwise, it's not a bad beer.
That's exactly my point that I'm trying to state. They haven't made a bad batch. This isn't a bad beer.
Change of crops, change of this, change of that.
Slightly different from last year.
And it's still the colour and everything. But yeah, it's not like I mean, someone said to me, and another word, that it's the best batch yet. It's just two sides to every story here.
This for me is more like the bottle than last year's cake.
It could be, yeah. We haven't had a bottle for ages, and obviously with Marcus not in production at the moment.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. I do feel that that's it, because you had that.
Because the bottle did have something missing, so we thought.
Yeah,
but some people loved it.
I'm thinking that's going to be more like the bottles that you were getting than last year's cake.
I don't know. He who dares wins. He who hesitates don't. This is a rate my beer of. We don't know, but one thing we do know is it's not to the level of last year, and that's the truth.
Yep, I bet on that.
He who dares wins. He who hesitates don't. Bonjour.